Yeah, yeah. So today, we're gonna start this input statement. Okay. So till now, we dealt with data, data statement, in file statement, and now we're gonna have the third one, which is the input statement. Okay. So mostly we use input statement, whenever we read data from external source or we create data using data lines. Okay. So these are two ways where no, these are the two specifications where we usually use input statement. Okay, so as input statement is mainly used to have the column names for the specific data available maybe in the external file or while or while creating a data line statement. Okay, so
Okay.
for instance, so we have this data. Okay, we have this data. So we have this data lines statement. We have the input here, ID number, name, teams, start weight, end weight. So run this. So as you know, each data point will be assigned to the specific column name as specified in the input statement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For instance, if we don't use this input statement and see what happens. Okay, if you see here, the table cannot be opened because it does not contain any columns. Okay. So we just simply got one observation and zero variables. So the thing is it will be empty. So what happens is why one observation and zero no zero variables? If you observe carefully, what happens? First the okay first the the first line of input line, it will go into the input buffer. Remember, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It will input buffer now, and post that it will get assigned to the specific column names, right? So uh, the first line of the data went into the data set. I'm sorry, then the input buffer, but it's it started searching for the input column names, but it doesn't have the input column names. So eventually it gets halted. It gets stopped at the first observation. That's it.
Yeah.
As there is no so as there is no input column names, there won't be any any data set will be created. So it'll just halt with the first observations. That's it. One observation and zero variables. Simply we call it as a dummy data set, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, thing is always you know relate each and every statement with the backend with the backend operations. What happens in SAS? Okay. So what does infile do? What does input do? When we compile, when we run this code, what happens at the compilation stage, and and what happens at the execution stage. Okay. So if you're clear with the backend, backend process, it'll be easy for you to judge what piece of code to be written at what state, at what position in the particular end-to-end coding level between the data and the run statement.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So namingly, input statement is always used to assign the values to the input column names. So, so how do we deal? So, no, whenever we have a data in terms of, if if the data is aligned, it is fine. Okay. If the data is aligned, everything will be in a good shape. What if the data is not aligned? What if it has some spaces in the in between the characters? What if it has some null values in the data or some other characters? Okay. So, in order to deal with the data, we use these types of input statements. We have multiple types of input statements where where we're gonna use all these types of input statements as the options for these input statements. Okay. The first one is column input. It is simple. So in terms of column input, it is something that we use the uh, no, we use the record placement for followed in following with the input column name. Okay, so in terms of column input, we use the record placement. If you see here, we use the record placement following the input column name. Okay, so for instance, we have 1 to 4, 6 to 23, 25 to 30, and so on. Okay, so this is simply called whenever we give the numbers in this format, it is termed as column input. Okay, so this has around few points. One is the same columns in all the input data records. So if we follow a standard numeric form or character form, so we have few useful features of it. One is character values that contain embedded blanks. Whenever we have character values with with embedded blanks, if we use it, we can even read those character values with embedded blanks. Okay, and character values can be from 1 to 32 to 767 characters long. Okay, input values can be read in any order. So the main useful of this thing is input values can be read in any order regardless to their position in the entire records. So which means the simple syntax for this one is input column name, one to column name, its placement. I mean placement of the input record. For instance, if you see here, I have ID number 1 to 4. So what happens? So what are the data available from 1 to 4, from first line, from in the row 1, from column 1 to column 4? So all the data will come under ID number. Specifically, if you see here, we have 1, we have 1 here. If you see at line 49, we have my cursor is at 1, which is column 1. Okay. If we just move it to a little bit, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I got four records. Sorry, I got four characters. So these four should be placed in the ID number as I mentioned here, 1 to 4. Okay, and again from 6 to 23. Why 6 is because we have a space left here, 5, and again 6 until here this is highest until take it as uh 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, 23. Again space, and again start from 25. Okay, ends at 30, 30 here, and again 32, 34, and again 36, ends at 38. You getting it, ma'am? Let's compare here,
Yeah.
a column here, and the number and which row we are considering it. Okay, if I simply run this, I'll get the data here. Okay, if you see here, end weight I have a dot representing it to be a numeric value. Okay, for instance, if I change this order, so then the useful of this one is if I change this order, okay, we still get the data. You see, we got data in this way. Name, under name we got the name values, but our name is at the second position. But we have name. I gave name at the last position in the input statement. So precisely what does column input follow? Column input follow you know the column numbers which we provide post the column name or the or the variable name irrespective of the record positions.
Okay.
Clear, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that is the use of column input.
Actually, very helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. And next one is we have first one is column input. Next one is list input. In list we have simple list and modifier list. So let's see what is simple list and modifier list. So simple list is something that whenever data, whenever we want to use dollar symbol. Why do we use dollar symbol? We simply use it to read the character values. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's called simple list. No, the name itself indicates that it's a to use a simple input statement, which is the dollar symbol. So we use dollar symbol when the when the data is aligned. So it only works out when the data is aligned. Okay, aligned or separated by blanks. You see here, our data is aligned, and once you run this, we get a data. Okay, a simple list input will follow the variable name. Post that we can give our preference of number of character values. I mean, number of character values length. Okay, four or four something. Okay. That's simple list input. And next one is modify list input. So modify list input is something that it makes the input statement more versatile when compared to the simple list input. Okay. So we can just overcome many other issues where a simple list input can't solve it. Okay. So let's see what are the list of modify list input. So we have multiple modify list input. First one is dollar. No, it indicates to store the character variable, and second one is ampersand. Ampersand. So normally, whenever you have embedded blanks, okay, embedded blanks into the data, and you want to read the data correctly, so we use ampersand. And next one is colon. Okay, whenever we have a whenever we have lengthy data where where the character length doesn't satisfy until the blank value comes in, so we use column input. Sorry, we use colon. Okay, and next one is that title, and other one is plus. So we can go through each and every one, everything. So first one is which it indicates to store the character value. So if I run this, it is simple one. Okay, so whenever it is a simple list input or a list or a input list input which has dollar, so it assumes when to think that the data is either aligned or the data is separated by blanks. Okay, and next one is ampersand. This one. Okay, yeah. So indicate no, it indicates that a character value can have one or more embedded blanks. Okay, so this mainly this format modifier reads the value from the from the next non-blank column. Okay, from the next non-blank column. So this is a non-blank column until until it reaches a pointer where it has two consecutive blanks, or the or it has a defined length of the variable, or the end of the input line. Okay, so let's see what is what is um, non-blank value until the pointer when the pointer reaches the two consecutive blanks. Okay, yeah, yeah. If you see here, we have some embedded blanks here, right? We have some embedded blanks here, embedded blanks
Yeah.
here, blanks here. Yeah. Okay. So, for instance, if I want to read this, I'll just simply I'll just simply deny this particular ampersand and read it using the simplest input, which is the
Dollars.
dollar symbol. Yeah. So eventually I'll be end up getting data in this way because what's happening is it has blanks and we don't know what do you call it what length we need to provide. Okay. Instead, if I provide this, okay, let's see what happens. Okay. So the data gets truncated. That's good enough. Okay. And team gets team value, name gets name value, weight and weight. Got
Mm.
the gist of it, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah.
Previously, what happened? So this David and Shaw got split into name and team. But after using this ampersand, So the records went into the actual values, actual input columns. Okay, but we have this truncation because of the length, because default is 8 characters, so it will truncate beyond 8 characters. Okay, in order to overcome that, what we do is we provide some kind of a lengthy value. I mean, no, a length of it, some kind of length. Let's say, here I have given 18 characters of length. Let's read this. Okay, eventually I get the data. Okay, so always make sure that either you know the length correctly in terms of this particular um I mean, whenever you have embedded blanks in terms of data. Okay, if you have the if you know the length correctly, uh where did I just show you somewhere? Yeah, here. If you see here, what we have, the data is aligned. Yeah, no, the data is aligned. We have embedded blanks, but still we are getting the data in a correct way. Why is it? Because it is aligned. First thing is it is aligned. Second thing is we have given the specific length of it.
Yeah,
Right, ma'am? Yeah. And here what the issue is, data is not aligned and we have embedded blanks. In order to overcome this, we'll give this particular modifier, which is, list modifier, which is ampersand. So make sure that whenever you provide ampersand to a particular data point or the particular column name, post the data point, there should be two embedded blanks. The data should end up with two blanks. Okay. For example, we normally have one blank, but here in this case, it should end up with two blanks. Get it, ma'am? If you see after Shaw, I have one, two,
got it.
right? Yeah. So that is the rule of this particular ampersand.
It could be more than two also, or just two.
Yeah, more than two. That's what. If you
Okay,
see here, one or more single ampersand, not here. Sorry. Uh, okay, until it is a pointer of sorry, no, ma'am, only two consecutive blanks. Let's
two
see.
concepts.
Yeah. If I provide more than two, let's see your way. Okay. Anyways, we still be ending. We still end up getting the data. So
Yeah,
the mainly concern is, I know it should have two consecutive, not two
at least
consecutive,
two. Yeah,
yeah, at least two consecutive blanks whenever you have an embedded blank in a particular data point.
okay.
Okay, yeah, that is the case. So mostly, you give embedded blanks only to the character values. I mean these modifiers are only for the character values. Okay, so if it is character value, it should always follow. It should always follow the sign. Follow this dollar sign. Okay, yeah. And next one is colon. Okay. So normally, it enables you to specify an in format. So, we haven't dealt with format and in format. Normally, we have two types. One is format, and the one is in format. And we'll have a small session on it separately. But for now, I think we have normally we give formats, right? So, in format is something that the terminology in format is used whenever you want to read data from a source. Okay, read data. And format is something that whenever you want to write the data to a particular source, like into a data set or a external file. Okay, informat is something that you specify those informats to read the data from a source. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So here we normally use dollar symbol to read the data. Okay, to read the data from the external source or the data lines. Informats in terms of uh, enables you to specify an informat that input statement uses to read the variable value. Okay, for the character value, in terms of the character values, the format modifier reads the value from a, so for this particular colon, okay, colon format modifier, say no, the same thing like the particular, the above ampersand, which is it reads the value from the next non-blank column. So whenever you specify this column, it normally reads data from the next non-blank column until it reaches a point where where it have a, space or end of a line, or end of a input line, whichever comes first. Okay, if you see here, it reads the value from the next, from the next non-blank column until the pointer reaches the next non-blank column. Okay, if you see from here to here, or okay, or end of the data line, whichever comes first. If it is the end, it just ends it and goes to the next line, or else it reads data from one non-blank value to the next non-blank value. Okay, let's see how that's happening. Yeah, if I don't give this, so anyways, we have data is not aligned here, $11 dot. Okay, we see what happened. See what happened. Any issues in the data, ma'am?
Yeah, the 200 came in the
Right,
name
right. Why is it?
because it's reading till 11.
Yeah, so we thought that the highest name is of 11 characters. We just
Yeah.
blindly gave the 11 characters of length, but we didn't think that, but the data is here not aligned also. So what
Also.
happens? It takes Padmaja and space and 2. I mean the 200 until Ramakrishna, because we thought Ramakrishna is the highest one. Okay, it takes the until 11. If you see here, we got Ramakrishna and Mohan Prasad, but for Padmaja, we ended up getting 200 also, space 200. Okay, so usually that shouldn't happen, right, ma'am?
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen. So in order to avoid that, we use column. So specifically, it reads no data from the first non-blank value to the next non-blank value. So there's the first non-blank value until the next non-blank value. That's it. Even if the even if the length is high or not, it doesn't care. Okay. So it reads data. We get the data here. Ramakrishna, Ramprasad. Right, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what happens, when we have, embedded blanks? For instance, we have embedded blanks here. Now, what happens? We anyways use this particular column, but what happens here? We end up getting data in this way. Okay. As you know, column reads data from the first non-blank value to the next non-blank value. Okay.
Mm.
We end up getting Arama, Padmaja, and Mohan, because Mohan Prasad has a blank here. So we use, sorry, yeah, we use an ampersand symbol here, ampersand here. So why ampersand is used to, in order to read data in terms of embedded blanks.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, why are we using both? If I just simply remove this and run this, we still, no, there is no, okay. Let's see here. Yeah. Uh, just a second. Yeah. So we getting data Ramakrishna, Padmaja, and Mohan Prasad. Okay. Yeah. And if we use this, yeah, in order to make it okay. Uh, yeah. Is this clear, ma'am? In terms of this data?
Yeah. Especially when it's like not aligned and we want to specify the length also for that column.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
better use these list inputs, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Uh, Shani, I'm getting it. Getting this topic.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But here in this, if we don't use colon also, we are getting the same output, no?
Yes,
Name,
ma'am.
yeah,
Yeah. That's because we are using no, two blanks of space.
ampersand.
Ampersand with two blanks. So eventually we get the data in that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like when we use both, the data is more aligned and the table
Sorry,
is more pretty. Yeah.
sorry, come again, ma'am.
When you are using both ampersand and colon, the table looks more prettier.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of using both ampersand and
The
uh,
colon.
the colon, so normally we we use it to make sure it doesn't exceed the values. That's the only
Yeah.
reason. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Now next one is in separation of data with the help of delimiter we call comma. For instance, I have, I even have embedded blanks here. I just remove this. I'll run this data. I mean, anyways, I end up getting the data, data correctly because we have commas, right?
DS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
DST. Yeah. So even if I, sorry, you see here, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, the
S-
cell, the
Right.
name.
Right. Right. So in order to avoid that, because so this happened because uh, we have a greater length. I mean, a more length compared to the one. So we
Yeah.
use colon here. So what does colon do? It just goes with the delimiter. It just thinks no blank is a delimiter here. So it starts reading data from first comma to second comma.
From the comma. Yeah.
Yeah, and then which is the data in this pen. Okay. Yeah.
So basically, when we define length to the character and then uh,
Yeah, length can be
better
anything.
to
I mean, it's not that you count the maximum value and then give out the data. No.
uh,
So why we use colon? In order to we can have any length. I mean,
separation, yeah, with either space or
we can. Yeah.
comma.
Yes, ma'am. So mostly we use. I mean, the main reason we use colon because we just can't go with one name telling that there is the biggest character, biggest there's the biggest value in the entire data set. I mean, in the
Yeah,
entire file, right? We have much more. We have much more bigger names than we saw. Okay.
correct. Yeah,
So, in order to give a ideal length, we usually giving a bigger number in terms of length. In order to avoid capturing data, post the blank, like just like what happened. Ramakrishna, in the name itself, we got Ramakrishna and 34, sorry, Padmaja and 20 and 200. In order not to have data in that way, so we use DSD followed with colon.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Next one. Let's see this program. Okay. So let's see what happens. So we have item, 10 dot, and amount. Okay. So here what happens, right? Second one. Oh, my bad. My bad. My bad. So it's basically a wrong program. Just see the result. This is what happens here. You end up getting data in the next, getting wrong data. I mean, incorrect data. So which we end up getting a item will have both the item, I mean, the character value and the numeric value. Basically, we use colon here, right, ma'am? We use colon here.
Yeah,
We get the data correctly in this way.
got
Yeah. So that's the main
That
use
is
of
checking
colon.
character length till 10 without colon. So
Right, ma'am. Right. So let me. Okay. So just a second. Colon. So did you observe anything here, ma'am? So we gave a space here, a single space. I mean, not the double
yeah,
space. Okay, if I yeah, not the double space here. Okay, and even we give this particular column, we have 12. Take it as 12. Okay, we have 12, and now if I run this, you see, we end up
the name, yeah, didn't the Krishna didn't show up.
exactly.
Sad
Yeah,
also, like, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So because what happened here is what happened here is, as you know, this particular data will only, I mean, column, will only read data from the first non-blank value to the next non-blank value. Okay. So we got data in this way. The first non-blank value to the next non-blank value. Right, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we, instead of that, what we do, we use, instead of that, we use ampersand, and then we must make out few, two blanks post the data where we use this ampersand. Yeah. Yeah. So next we get to this title symbol. Okay. Uh, so we used to, we use title, whenever we have data, a specific data can be a delimiter or a special case data where the data is present in quotation marks. Okay. So what our condition is, we need to preserve the quotation mark and the particular delimiter or the special character. So we use this, title symbol with the help of DSD option. Okay. Whenever we use this title, we need to have this DSD. Okay.
Okay.
First thing is, I want to preserve the quotation marks here. So we end up getting DS quotation marks here. Right, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you see, you see here, we have delimiters over here and over here, right, ma'am? These delimiters are the actual delimiters, but this delimiter is a separation between the first name and the last name.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so this delimiter should not be treated as a delimiter, actual delimiter, but this is the actual delimiter, right? So this
Right,
delimiter is something which which separates data, but this delimiter is part of the data. Okay, right, ma'am?
right.
Yeah. In order to have that everything intact with the quotation marks, in the quotation marks, I even need to read the data properly with the delimiter, with the delimiter or the special character specified. I use title, okay, at the respective variable. Okay. Yeah. So I get the data correctly in this way.
Okay.
So this happens whenever you read external data where you have some kind of some important values where those are marked in quotations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you use this particular title symbol. Yeah. And next one. Next one is a plus symbol, uh, which normally moves pointer to the column n. Okay. Uh, for instance, I have this column 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3. So I want to move it to +6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Uh, if it is the highest value, we have until 6 here. I want to again post until 6 here. Total 13. One space gap, one space between team and. So here until here it is 12. Until from here it is 13. Right? See,
Yeah.
I placed my cursor here. It is 12 here.
12. Yeah, 12.
Yeah. After this, it has been 13 here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is, for instance, if I don't provide this data, you see, what what does this mean? Any guess, ma'am? What does this mean? So why couldn't it read data?
Because there are lots of space in between.
Right, right. As you know, our normal data read will only
Once.
consider one space. Yeah, exactly. One space post the previous data. No, post the previous non-blank data. Right. So we have multiple blanks post our non-blank value. So our non-blank. So what we're telling the SAS system to jump to 6 pointers.
Yeah.
Jump to 6 pointers, and then you'll get a single space. From there, you can read the data. Okay. You see, until this column, this cursor, we have column 12, which is until 12 it can read the data, but after 12 it'll have one space, and then it can read the second value. Right now.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is something that whenever you have data
Mm-hmm.
aligned, but with many spaces, because you get data aligned,
Mm-hmm.
but you have spaces in it. Okay. In order to read
Yeah.
those spaces with the data, you'll just use plus symbol to just move the point to the column number of columns.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Next one is how to use multiple input statement. Okay. So let's see how to use multiple input statements. In order to write input statements in multiple lines. Okay. Whenever we have data in multiple lines like this one. The first line will have ID number and name, second line team, third line start weight and end weight. Okay. So we can use multiple statements in this way. So till now we only gave one input statement, so we can even provide multiple input statements in this way. So if you see the first, I have given column input. I have given column input for this multiple input statement, right, ma'am?
Yeah.
The first input will read the first line, second input will read the second line, third input will read the third line.
Okay.
You see, we got the data correctly. With I am Brown, it's Jim Brown.
So what is cards? Is it like when the data is in multiple lines?
Okay, cards is something that it is a replacement to data lines. That's it. Both are same.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
We can still use data lines, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
So we missed something. So we got Avid Shah, Melia Serrano, Ian Namus. Ashley is A is missing. The first character is missing in the name.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I no, can you just help me with the code?
That's because you put 1 to 4 in the no, sorry, 7 to 20 in the
Okay. So what should
one. Let me see,
yeah,
1 to
yeah.
4 5. It
Hmm.
should be 6 to 20.
Okay. Let's see then. So we have Ashley McNair, Jim Brown did it correctly, right? Clear, ma'am, on this? Any questions on multiple input statement?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Yeah. If you see this one, so what we now tell me what happens if I run this code. Just observe this day, I mean the statements keenly and tell me what happens if you run this code.
We have not given the name in the
Okay.
second input.
So what happens, ma'am? Will I get the data? Will I, won't I be getting the data?
We'll be getting the data, but name, we haven't specified the length, so it will take like by default. But the name will not show up in the column.
I mean, we spoke something at the start of the session. I told you something at the start of the session. I can give input name, input with blank values. What happens if I give input with blank values? So we discussed same at the start of the session. Remember, ma'am? Here, if I remove this input, what happens? No, right? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
So here, I still have input, but no column name. Now what
Yeah,
happens?
it will throw an error.
So let's see. So what happened here?
No name. Yeah, no
Exactly.
column. Yeah.
Exactly. You see, I mean, I told you the same thing at the start. Remember, ma'am? At the start of the session, so it has, it don't have any kind of a value to define the data. Okay,
Yeah.
we haven't provided any input column name to define the data. So what is red, yellow? We don't know what is red and yellow. We know which is the second line, right? Second line, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, second line, right? So eventually it'll miss the data because it can read the other parts, but this thing doesn't have a data, so it'll miss the data.
Yep.
Just like the previous one, where we missed we missed this input statement. We didn't get the data. We only got one observation, zero variables. As there are no variables, so eventually we don't get the data. Even here the same. There are no variables, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no data. So that this team we mentioned here, it won't have data. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'll just halt here, ma'am. Any questions until now?
It's clear, Rajiv.
Sean, ma'am, you? Any questions?
No questions.
Sorry, ma'am.
No questions.
Okay. So anything apart from, anything on the previous yeah. Anything on the previous
It's clear, Rajiv. Yeah, very
okay.
interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Uh yeah. Okay. Yeah, then we're gonna stop here, ma'am. Okay. So we're gonna have the next session tomorrow. I mean, I'll be taking I'll be taking the all 5 days. I'll try to take all 5 days, ma'am. Okay, in this
Okay.
week. In this week. I mean until Friday.
Fridays, can we have like short lesson because my both kids have different timings for the school.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be the same time, but
Like
we'll just
45 minutes, yeah, would be
sure.
good for me.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
no, we'll make it like today itself.
All
Uh,
right.
on Friday. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll just have a plan. I mean, every day I just thought of having a 10-minute last 10 minutes will be a questionnaire, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any questions, just send. If you have any questions, we can discuss in the last 10 minutes of the session.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else, ma'am? Anything you want to know about the previous topics? Anything else? Anything you want me to repeat on my previous topics?
It's so far good because the questions under each document you sent.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to read with like on Google also and all those things. So it's helping a lot. Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's good, ma'am.
if I have any questions, like I go to those answers through the Google and then
Sure, sure.
see your
Yeah.
video also. So they are
Okay.
helping me.
Sure, ma'am. So, from today, what I see is we'll have last 10 minutes of a questionnaire. You can,
Sure.
you can bring out any new code from the Google or something. We can try it out. You can tell me if you have any, any issues on the previous topics. We can go through that. Okay. We can even
Okay.
discuss the questions, whichever you have it.
Yeah.
Okay. In
I
the last,
practiced remember I asked you about the title one, title, the footnotes and all then I practiced using the put statement and then I found my answer that why it
okay.
didn't work in the title. So,
Okay.
because when I'm using put statement, that the title, let's say student one,
Hmm.
it's showing in each line, but if we define it as a title, it will just show only on the top of the line.
Hmm.
So that was the difference. So I got my answer.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, if there's nothing else, no, we'll just wrap the session.
Sure. Thank you,
Okay. Yeah.
Rajiv.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah.
Mhm.
Shani, ma'am, you have any questions? Okay.
I think she left.
Okay, ma'am. No, no issues. No issues.
Rajiv, do you have couple minutes to talk?
Sure, ma'am. Sure, sure, sure. No problem.
Yeah, I just want to like start working on my resume. I really have going through very hard time.
Yeah, I get it.
Uh,
So, ma'am, I mean, resume in the sense, I mean, as you're only looking for the clinical science, I mean, I don't say there's a correct time, ma'am.
mm-hmm.
No, I mean, no, we can't work on the resume right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you have any other course in mind, no, you can go through that using, using that particular course. Okay. But with SAS Clinical, I guess this is not possible.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I mean,
there's
as
like how long the resume preparation takes? Like I just want to save that time. I know I understand that we haven't gone through those lessons, but
yeah,
I just
ma'am,
want to
as
save
you know,
some
when
time.
I spoke to you, I mean, last month also, regarding the same, the
Yeah.
resume, the resume and all. I mean, I would say, I mean, by July, I guess, by mostly by July, we're gonna start this, no, this clinical SAS. Only post that, I mean, I know, as I said previously, only post that we can have I mean, you can have the resume build.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and
Otherwise,
there are like positions coming up in SAS, right? I don't want to miss those, chances to enter into the job.
I get it, ma'am. But right now, I mean, all the positions you see, they are in, they are onto SAS clinical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So SAS clinical, literally needs SAS coding, which right now we are going through, and the SAS clinical domain, which the other person, I mean, the other trainer will go, will make you, will walk you through.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I updated my resume over the LinkedIn because I finished my boot camp from the Ohio State, and then I updated